Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and your daily cast of characters, where we discuss the issues of the day, entertainment news, what's really going on in Washington, and the world. Why don't we just hear it from the horse's mouth himself?
We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified. I don't think it's safe to be briefed on national security because the word will get out. I know at some point they're going to want to brief me, but I'm not a talker about this stuff. This is like Watergate, only it's worse. Because here, our foreign enemies were in a position to hack our most sensitive national security secrets.
Of course, it turns out the Russians didn't need to hack Hillary's email server. They were able to hack Trump's mouth.
This is like Watergate, only it's worse.
The Lee Michaels Show on the Power of Voices Radio Network.
Welcome to the show. It is Thursday. What's up, world? How's everyone? Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show with Carol and the cast of characters. Yes, we have a cast, not just one or two. We got a whole slew of characters, and they come from all walks of life. From the bread man to Chris, the man around town in Chicago. Occasionally we hear from Little Frankie. Little Frankie has been under the weather. We got to check in with her and see how she's doing. And certainly Apollo. So we may hear from some of those characters today. In fact, I see Chris in there already. And what is that? A sign of what? What do you want me to do? Poke you?
Yeah, just get that in there.
Put that in there. You know, Carol, some of your hand signals are very suggestive. There you go.
Oh, well, at least I can make people laugh.
Say again?
At least I make you laugh. This cord is breaking.
I know. I got to get another one. Well, welcome to the show. How you doing today, Carol?
You don't even want to know.
Oh.
I got in an argument with this asshole at the beach.
Oh, no. You need to go to a different beach.
No, he hadn't been there in a long time. And
Yeah.
I'm not used to just listening to really racist people.
Oh, God.
And it was just horrible
those
what
days,
he was saying. He walks up like he thinks I'm supposed to. You don't even know how it ended. He really believes, and I'm not saying this about all white people because all white people don't think like this. Most don't.
Right.
He was using the N-word and
What?
the Muslims. And then finally I said, what, you think that young kid that killed those people in the church, that's not a terrorist? No, he wasn't a terrorist. I said, oh, so because he's white. I said, what about the Sandy Hooks guy? I started naming them all. You had to hear him. And I said, you know, I'm a minority. So you know what I threw in his face? He was saying terrible stuff about Muslims. I said, honey, Muslims are religion. I said, don't. And then he just kept going and going. And everybody heard me because I went off.
You can't reason with an idiot.
No, I told him I don't
really
talk
can't.
politics. I'm not talking politics. I'm just telling you. And get ready for this. He said, Trump's getting ready to change the Supreme Court completely.
Oh, he already has.
He said, and
Where's this guy been, in a coma?
I don't know. He said, everything's going to change. It's going to be a different world. I said, well, it's going to hurt you because you look definitely like you're on Medicare for quite a while now. And he just kept it up. I told him, I said, by the way, I'm Muslim.
What did he say then?
He didn't care.
Yeah. They don't care.
Ain't no
They say,
Muslim. Carol ain't no Muslim.
You know, just to shut him up. And then I go, you know, I don't know why you're talking to me like this. I said, I'm a minority too. I go, what is your problem? I finally said the F word to him.
Good.
And I think a few people were listening and they cheered me on.
That's right. Well, you know, sometimes you got to drop the bomb on a fool.
Well, I did. And then last night, before I went to the show, Jim started up about Mexicans. And I looked and I said, excuse me? I said, part of my family's Mexican. I go, why would you sit here when you're Chinese?
He's here on a. He's on here in here on a.
He's been at a junior college for 5 years.
5 years. So he ain't the smartest guy in the room.
No, he isn't.
And you know, he's here on a school thing, right? So
they were going to make him leave.
Well, it's time for him to go home. Bye-bye. See ya.
Holla.
Really? What's up, Apollo? How you doing?
I've never seen an Islamic cow before.
Islamic cow?
A Muslim.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
A
I
Muslim.
might pronounce things different, but I know you know what I was talking about.
Yeah, you know.
I know. I just
messing
got
with
a Carol. It's a sibling rivalry. That's all.
Look,
it
I've
is.
already had a fight this morning, and I was enjoying
Yeah.
my walk. And one thing I don't like is racism. I don't care what color you are. If you're racist, I don't like you. And I
Right.
see that in every race. Because I have a
Yeah,
friend
well-
that she's very racist against white people. And I have to tell her, you need to stop. Because their biggest audience
Fight the
is
power.
white people. That's who supports them. So
Mm-hmm.
back off of it.
Supports who?
What she does for a living.
What is her ethnic? What is her ethnicity?
She's black.
So white people support her?
Basically, I'm not going to say who it is, but I'm
Oh.
just saying racism comes in all colors, forms.
She'd take their money, but she don't like them, huh?
Yeah, but you know what? Don't sit here when you didn't live. I didn't live when Columbus landed and tortured my people and took our land. I didn't live back then, and she didn't live when there was slavery. So quit feeling somebody owes you a bunch of money. If anybody's owed money, it's the Native Americans. So,
I agree with
sometimes
that.
I just have
I
to
do
tell
agree
her,
with
stop
that.
now.
I want my 40 acres and a mule right now.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see that guy running for the mayor in St. Petersburg, Florida?
No, I didn't see that.
What I sent it to you on Messenger. He was talking about reparations, and he was talking to somebody in the crowd. He's a racist, obviously. He's running for mayor. He's sitting up there. You got your reparations. It's called Barack Obama. If you don't like that, hop on a plane and go back to Africa. I was like, really?
No,
dude?
you didn't. Really?
I swear to God, check your Messenger and play that video.
Is this the one, the NAS car prank phone?
I sent you like 3 things that I thought were relevant for today.
NASCAR?
If you have a
Oh, I
chance.
see it. I see it.
Well,
I see it,
family
yeah.
in Germany, a man that survived the Holocaust,
not
but
that
his whole
NASCAR. It was
family
the first
was
one I
killed.
sent
They
you
just
this
paid
morning.
him back.
No, the first one is just
It's Fox 13 Tampa Bay.
okay.
And then I sent you Chuck NASCAR, and then I sent you Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, I got them all.
Yeah.
All right, we'll play those. Let me also welcome Chris Bass to the show. What's up, Chris?
Yes, boom, shakalaka. How you doing, everybody? How's everybody doing there?
Doing all right. You know
All
what?
right, that's great.
You guys talked for a second, but I just realized my coffee is sitting on the other side of the table over here. So let me get that. 'cause
Well, just talk while you're over there getting it.
No, I
You'll
can't.
sound like
Can I-
Carol, because she's like 20 feet away from the mic. So you just still sound. That way your levels will be consistent.
I think you really missed me or something.
I did, but I can hear, like, Lee comes through my headphones like, hello. And then when you're on the mic, it's like, yeah, I was over there the other day, and I talked to him, and I can't hear Carol when she's like this.
Well, I don't know why. She sounds fine to me. Maybe I'll
it's-
turn her feed up to you.
Turn her mic. Maybe it's Lee's fault then. Maybe Lee's don't have her mic turned up high enough.
All right,
That's
talk
what
to him
it
now,
is.
Carol. He likes everything loud.
Hello.
Now, see, that
Did you-
sounds good.
Yeah.
Hello.
I had to turn up the send to you. But nobody else complains.
would've
What are you,
heard
hard
me
of
this
hearing?
morning.
No, I just
Turn
I
your
like
damn hearing
consistent
aid up.
levels.
Oh,
I don't
Lord.
have one yet.
You need one, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better go get your ears
Need
checked
some
out.
other things too. I need.
What do you guys think about the O.J. Simpson possibility
I
of
heard he
getting
got
parole?
caught beating his meat, and he might not get out because of the. No, I'm serious. They said something about he had some. No, I'm saying that there's a story that he got caught masturbating by a female guard, and that was one strike against him. And then something about a cookie. He had smuggled some cookies back into his cell. He has 2 disciplinary marks on his record. One was for masturbating near a female guard, and the other one was
Well,
some
how do you
contraband
how do you
cookies.
control that? I mean, you're locked up in your cell.
Is there a law about masturbating in prison? I would think.
I
there
don't
would
know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't even want to go down this road.
If there was a law, then everybody would be in jail. That's the case, man.
Yeah.
Well, you cannot expose yourself. Here it is. O.J. Simpson, let me see. Exclusive O.J. Simpson. Parole may be in jeopardy after he was caught masturbating in his Nevada prison cell by a female corrections officer.
Is this some fake
Former
news?
football-
Where's this article coming from?
I just Googled O.J. masturbating, and here's one. O.J. Simpson by The Sun. Who is The Sun? That's a UK paper. And here's TMZ. They say O.J. Simpson not busted in prison chicken choking.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson was not involved in an illegal beating in prison, if you know what we mean. There's a story circulating that Simpson's potential parole is in jeopardy because he was caught masturbating in his cell at Lovelock Correctional Center.
See?
The official statement from Lovelock says it's against Nevada Department of Corrections policy to release inmate disciplinary history to the public. Well, it could have been leaked by a guard or something. They would know that. So that's just a public statement saying it's illegal for us to release that.
You masturbate, you're going to leak something out, man. You got to be careful on that.
You know, they're going to try to find something to keep him in there.
I don't see how that's against the law. It'd be different if he was raping another
Here's
man.
the New York Post. Is the New York Post credible?
Sometimes.
O.J. Simpson's parole bid could be derailed because he was caught masturbating in his cell. A federal lockup, no, according to a new report Wednesday, but another media outlet immediately debunked the claim. The lewd behavior is strictly forbidden at Lovelock Correctional Institute. I don't understand. So you got to be in jail for 9 years. You're going to die of prostate problems if you can't drain that thing. I mean,
you're backed up. Yeah, backed
It's
up.
a no.
Don't they do circle jerks when they're in prison?
Circle jerks?
I've never heard of a thing like that, Carol,
Well, I
in
know
prison. That's
people that have
something
been
gay
in
people do.
prison.
I
It
can't
isn't
see a bunch
something
of
gay
prisoners
people do,
sitting
honey.
around in a
Don't
circle.
always put everything on gay people.
Well, wait a minute. What is a circle jerk?
It's when
Excuse
they
me.
all
Where a
sit
bunch of men
around
sit in a circle and jack
they
off and
jack
talk
off.
to each other.
Are you serious?
Why
Yeah,
would-
they
why
do
would-
that
why-
in prison. It's called a circle jerk.
Wait, repeat that because everybody's talking at one time. What's a circle jerk again?
It's when they sit in a circle and they all jack off and talk.
Okay.
Have you
no
been to a
offense,
men's
they do it.
prison and seen
I
that,
have
or is that an
friends that
urban
have been in
legend?
prison.
Yeah, I just don't think that would be a thing. I just.
I don't know. Y'all
I
piss
vote
together.
for
What's
the single
difference? Y'all
circle
pee in the
jerk.
same thing
Do it by
and
your damn self.
Stand there and talk
Well,
to each other. So what's the difference?
I mean, I just
That's
could
a little
not
too close,
ejaculate. I couldn't reach orgasm sitting there looking at a greasy murderer. I just couldn't do it.
Man, that's too close for comfort if you get my drift.
I mean, I don't want to look at Green Mile while I'm trying to jack off.
Right.
And you're sitting there in the circle. Somebody has to go first. Hey, man, you jacked off on me. You got cum all over yourself. That's disgusting.
And if you've been backed up for 9 years like OJ, he might bukkake all over your face if you ain't careful.
All right.
Well, that's a water hose going off, man.
You know, all that backup. You don't want that coming at you.
Well, you know what?
Ooh-wee.
Here we are,
No dice.
18 minutes
Car-
into the show, and y'all
Carol
already...
started that now. Carol
Oh,
started
God. All right.
that. Circle
Characters.
jerking.
I never heard of that phrase. I just
Circle
don't,
jerk.
I just don't hang out in that circle.
In that circle, right?
You don't run in those circles.
No,
do you?
I don't. I do not. No,
I don't.
and no. Hey, did you see? Apparently, our boy Paul Porter was on the Joy Reid
Yeah,
show.
I sent you that too.
No, you didn't. I got it from
posted on your
Roshan.
wall. I
well,
posted it on your wall.
Okay, well, I got a message from Roshan Vance.
Roshan.
That's why
How's
I
he
saw it.
doing?
I think he's doing okay. He didn't say he wasn't, so I assumed that he's okay. No, you know. But yeah, there's a poll out saying that the majority of the people want Congress to get away from this repeal and replace bullshit.
Well, there was a poll out that said Hillary was going to win the election too. So see how that shit works.
Yeah, well, you know, I trust the polls more than I trust the outcome. That's just me. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just don't understand mathematically and using a layer of common sense how we ended up in the situation that we're in. Or does that speak volume about the mentality of the voters of America? I'm
Did
trying
you
to be
see
careful
Chuck
of what
Schumer?
I
Are you
say.
Did you
getting
see
an
Chuck
echo?
Schumer's statements that Chuck Schumer made about this whole situation is like a 1 minute clip. Whenever you get to it, I think I think he says it. I think he says everything exactly the way, but he says it in 2 minutes. I mean, it's absolutely true.
You say you're getting an echo, Carol?
Yeah. I'm not getting it now. I was only getting an echo of your voice.
Oh, my voice?
Of mine or Lee?
Testing 1, 2, 3. You hear an echo now?
I'm looking at you, so I'm not sure.
Echo.
You know what, Carol?
You know how you got in the
Hey,
hills?
what about McCain? Did you talk about that yesterday? I think I didn't see it until we got off that they found the brain tumor.
He's got a brain tumor.
Yeah.
The brain tumor, yeah.
Doesn't
I
look
didn't
good
know if
for
you
the
mentioned
senator.
that or not.
Does not look good for the senator. And so we send out prayers to Senator McCain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
I like
yes.
McCain. I've always thought
He's
McCain was,
at least, there are times when McCain even seems like he's bumped his head, but he kind of redeems himself when bullshit gets too deep. He knows how to separate it,
That's exactly right.
I had a lot of respect for him when he was out campaigning for the presidency. And the lady kept trying to imply that President Obama was a Muslim. And he went over to her and said, no, ma'am. No, he's not. He's a good, decent, honest man. And he took the microphone from her.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. So, I said, you know what? Even though you're in a heated debate and race for the seat, I just thought that was the right thing to do. And not enough of our politicians will cut off the bullshit, when it gets to be just stupid. And I think that's what we got to get our politicians to understand, that, look, in the name of being fair, straight up, honest, transparent, at some point in time, you just got to stop it. And unfortunately, our current administration and First Family, they don't get it. I mean, why wouldn't the president indicate to the people that he had a second meeting with Putin? Why? Because he wanted to cover it up. Because there are probably some things discussed in there that he don't want us to know about. He said the meeting was 15 minutes. Others are saying it was an hour. So who's lying again?
Yeah, well, they do that every year, too, though. I mean, it's called the Bilderberg Group. I mean, all the leaders get together and we're not allowed.
I think it's this mic headphone.
It could be.
Because all of a sudden it goes in and out. Like, it'll get real loud and then it doesn't do it.
Is it in both ears?
Just this ear.
Just that ear?
Well, I think this one might not hear anymore.
Turn it around.
Oh, are they backwards?
I don't know. Let's give you this other.
Are you listening through YouTube, or are you listening through Facebook?
Oh, you know what it is? It's the right one. The left side doesn't work, even when I turned it around.
You can't listen.
Only on the Lee Michaels Show would we talk about technical stuff.
Well, you guys do it all the time.
Yeah, we do, because we're just techies. All right, try these.
I wasn't saying you. I'm saying I did it yesterday
you're
with Chris.
just a woman hater.
You're talking to me or him?
To him. Him.
I don't hate them. I love them.
They're just sexual objects.
I just don't hate bitches, but I love women.
Honey, all women are bitches now. If you want to really love your woman, get to know the bitch in her first.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and
all
tricks.
All women have bitches.
Yeah,
that's my conversation.
I like that part of a woman. I'm used to it.
Yeah, I wish I could take their batteries out or hit the off switch when I'm done with them.
Is that more better? You hear out of both now? Yeah, those headphones must be defective. All right, good.
Are they Dora the Explorer
headphones? Is that parole
headphones?
hearing going live right now?
Who is this?
The parole.
I don't think you can air it. Can you air it live?
CNN just said you can.
Well,
on
it's
CNN.
I saw it on
only an OJ. Only OJ's hearing.
We're making money.
Well,
it's
about audio.
It's on right now.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
It's live right now.
ESPN is also airing it as well.
Oh, it's live right now.
Right now.
Yeah, it's going on now.
Let me see. OJ.
Nevada. He lost weight.
Well, you'd lose weight.
Parole hearing. Let's see.
That's right.
Okay, OJ's parole live.
Yeah.
Live from
it's
the Nevada State Penitentiary.
I'm shocked that they would let them come in and do that, but I guess they're getting paid.
I'm going to go watch this.
You got what? 11
Watch
satellite
live.
trucks, 11 satellite trucks, and over 100 media outlets.
CNN's
over there
not
right
airing
now.
it live.
So they're
It
probably
says
waiting
watch.
to see if
here
he
it is.
doesn't get out and watch him cry or something.
Let's see.
You were there.
I know he was guilty, but I would like to see him get out.
You know he was guilty of murder?
I believe he was. I mean, that's my opinion. But he got off of it, so.
Yeah.
What's she saying to him? There's a woman talking to him right now. and he's
I'm trying to
talking.
pull it up now so we can get a...
It's right on CNN.
News.
Looks like
Yeah,
he's
CNN.
mad.
Yeah.
Carson City, Nevada. Nevada Board of Parole Commissioners are now talking to him.
It says on CNN, watch live. But
Yeah,
I guess
I
you got
have
to
it.
turn on CNN to see it. They're
I
not
have
letting
it
you
live.
watch it live online. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Live,
they
O.J.
do, but
Simpson
it's
hearing.
only for 10 minutes, and then you have to have
There
a
we
log
go.
in.
I'll be back. I'm going to go watch this. I'll be back.
We're going to play it, crackhead. Slow down, Jim Shoe. I'll be back. I can go watch. Damn, is this all my children or what?
Oh, that's
He
funny.
even logged out.
Yeah.
I got to go watch this. Oh my God.
Yeah, he didn't believe me when I first said it.
Oh, help.
Really? Damn, Junior.
Man, that's the fastest ever got off the show, bro.
I know. Shoot.
Oh, he's probably having a cigarette break.
You know, I mean, it didn't even take porn to get him off. You know? The OJ
Usually that would
parole
do it.
hearing. Oh, my God. Let me go.
Parole
I
hearing.
I'll see you later.
And bird baths.
And bird baths. Yeah, really. Too funny.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Mr. Simpson, O.J. Simpson, been incarcerated since 2008 for robbery and kidnapping.
I thought it was 2007. Or was that when he was acquitted?
No.
But this was after his acquittal, after the murder case.
Right.
This was the
So hasn't he been in
robbery and
prison
kidnapping.
since 2007?
He's been in almost 9 years now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The hell is this thing?
I have it. It's right on CNN.
Okay, I'll go there. I don't like to go to CNN for these things because they only give you 10 minutes, of live streaming. And then I got to get
ESPN is doing it as well.
ESPN?
Yes.
Okay, dokie, hokey pokey.
I wish I could tell what he's saying, but I can't turn it up because it'll miss.
Hold on, I'm going to get it here in a
He
second.
looks like he's got upset for a minute there.
We'll bring it to you live
Well,
here in
the-
just a second.
The pregame, quote unquote, they had
Good
here on
thing
ESPN.
is he
they were
has
talking
5
to the.
million. They can't touch that.
Okay.
Nobody.
There was they were saying that OJ should really not be confrontational. He should sit there and just ask the questions. Don't elaborate too much, because if he starts to come off belligerent, then that could fall not into his category, and they
Right.
probably won't let him out.
Oh, no question. They're hoping that he gets, agitated,
Correct.
just so they can very easily say no. Hell no. Nope. Go back to your cell, sir. All right.
Hell no, you can't go.
I think
Or
I
hell
made
no,
it
you
clear
cannot
back then,
pass go.
I never had an alcohol problem. And if I took that alcohol course, it would have been more, for my children, in case they ended up having a problem. Well, my kids don't have a problem. I don't think anybody's ever accused me of having an alcohol problem or any kind of substance problem. Of course, on that day, I had drinks on that day, but it was a wedding celebration. But I've never had a substance problem at all. So I didn't.
Okay, well, you told us in our last hearing that you were going to attend AA, and that's the reason for my question. Was a factor in the
Yes, I know.
insomnias. Hadn't you been drinking that day?
Yes, as I said, we were celebrating a wedding thing. I felt that the alternative to violence course and my involvement with the church, I also as recently became the commissioner of the softball league, 18-team league. My primary responsibility was rules enforcement and player deportment. Guys, it's hot. The guys play. They argue. My job is that they get surly with one another, to remove them from the game, and if it goes beyond that, to go to Coach Fraley and have them suspended. I've never got any blowback from the guys because they know that I've done the best that I can, and I'm just trying to keep them out of trouble. So my agenda was full, here. I've been active, totally active in all the years I've been here. I don't have much time to sit around and do anything. I don't know if that answers your question, but...
So of all of the programs that you've had an opportunity to complete, what do you believe is the most significant for you personally?
Well, for me personally, it was the alternative to violence. As I said, I think that should be mandatory for every inmate here. Once again, guys get hot here, and, we've had our share of fights here. And as I said, I've been called in sometimes to try to keep guys from fighting. And you have groups, it's the Serenos are fighting, the Northtown boys, they all... it's crazy. And most of the time, it's over something really, really stupid. In a basketball game, somebody will say something to somebody, or somebody will go to somebody to complain to them about it, and it's how they complain to them about it that actually initiated the conflict, the fights. So I for the life of me, I don't understand why that is not a mandatory course for everybody here. Excuse me, my mind is trying to think of other things, but that's the course that I would recommend to everybody. I mean, I took a computer course here, not because I was computer illiterate, but I took the computer course because I sometimes I could never get my kids on the phone, but if you text them or send something to them on a computer, you can get them. So I actually took that course so I could better communicate with my children.
All right, and have these programs prepared you to return to the community setting?
I believe so. I've missed a lot of time, like 36 birthdays with my children, and I spent the 12 years leading up to this incident in Vegas raising two kids in L.A. In Miami, and with all the media stuff, we got these guys like Jeffrey Felix making up stories and stuff. That was happening out on the street also. But I was able to keep their eye on the ball. They had great grades. They went to the college of their choice, and I ended up missing their graduation because of it. Trust me. I wish it would have never happened, but as I said, the courses that I take, and I hope it helps me more if I run into those conflicts with my kids. I'm not a guy that has conflicts on the street. I don't expect to have any when I leave here, but I feel that I'm much better prepared. But more so from, I think, my commitment to being a better Christian, because I thought I was a good guy. I had some problems with fidelity in my life, but I've always been a guy that pretty much got along with everybody.
Are you humbled by this incarceration?
Oh, yes, for sure. As I said, I wish it would have never happened. I was going to start, I didn't know how we were going to do this, by apologizing to the people of Nevada, because I wish this would have never happened. I apologized to them at my sentencing. There's nothing I can do about this kind of media circus that's going on right now, but I could do something about the whole thing in the beginning. If I would have made a better judgment back then, none of this would have happened. And I take full responsibility because I should have never, I haven't made any excuses in 9 years here, but I should have never allowed these alleged security guys to help me, because it turned out they were only trying to help themselves. If they weren't there, Bruce and I, we tried to do this. We tried to sit down in the room and call this guy Mike Gilbert and discuss it all, but these guys took over and we were unable to do that. If we were able to do that, you would have never heard about this. None of us would be here today.
Okay, and lastly, I'd like you to know that we received hundreds of letters of support and opposition. And while we always encourage public input, the majority of the opposition letters are asking us to consider your 1995 acquittal and subsequent civil judgment. However, these items will not be considered in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Sissom. When we grant offenders parole, one of the conditions of parole we will impose is to pay court-ordered restitution to the victims of the crime. According to the judgment of conviction, in this case, you and your co-defendants were ordered to pay $3,560 in restitution and return 12 Montana lithographs to the victims. Can you tell us the status of the restitution and the return of the property taken during the robbery?
Well, one, I was unaware of the restitution. I do know about the prints. When I was talking to Bruce on the phone and asking him, was there anything else that should be yours? He said, the cell phone, right? So I said, do you want to come and meet us with that, or how do you want to do it? Mr. Cashmore, now the guy I didn't know, Mr. Cashmore said, hey, I got to go by that hotel. I'll drop it off, right? He testified to this, too. This is not an allegation from me. Mr. Cashmore testified to it. So I say, hey, this guy is going to come back. He's going to drop it off at the hotel. His testimony later was that he didn't remember the name of who he was supposed to drop it off to, and that they had decided to screw OJ. We're going to keep this stuff. I mean, this is his testimony in court. The last thing I heard is that he actually tried to use those prints I can't find the word, to get his bail with his bail bondsman. He was trying to use it as I can't think of the word.
Okay. I think we're kind of getting into
restitution for his bail bondsman. I know of these lithographs was that this Cashmore had him. I didn't know this guy, that he had him, and he testified to the fact in court that he had him.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah. The restitution was paid, I'm told, by my lawyer.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So the total restitution has been paid, and there is no pending.
Yes.
The property has been returned to the lithographs as well. That's.
I have no idea what this guy's. Oh yeah, he says that they have been returned to him. I'm sorry, Bruce just signaled me that they have been returned to him.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. If granted parole as opposed to completing your sentence in prison, you will be under supervision in the community. Why is it better to be in the community than in the prison?
Well, you know, I do have 4 kids. I've missed a lot of time with those kids. I think I am a guy who's always been a giving guy. I've, even on the street, people have always come to me. My reputation has always been that I'm open to the public. I'm open to everybody. Right now I'm at a point in my life where all I want to do is spend time with as much time as I can with my children and my friends, and I'm not looking to be involved with the media. I've had so many offers for interviews when I've been here in Lovelock, and I've turned them all down. I'm not interested in any of that. I've done my time. I've done it as well and as respectfully as I think anybody can. I think if you talk to the wardens, they'll tell you I gave them my word. I believe in the jury system. I've honored their verdict. I've not complained for 9 years. All I've done is try to be helpful and encourage the guys around there, hey, man, do your time, fight in court, and don't do anything that's going to extend your time. And that's the life I've tried to live because I want to get back to my kids and my family.
All right. Do you realize that if you're granted parole, you could be returned to prison for any violation or conditions of parole? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do.
Those conditions could be easily as not drinking alcohol to excess, associating with ex-felons, leaving the state without permission, being subject to search and seizure. So there's going to be a whole slew of conditions you're going to have to follow. And do you think you can be successful with the terms of parole?
Oh, beyond a doubt. I mean, I haven't drank in 9 years and I haven't missed it Most of my life, I could be stopped and searched whenever I'm not a guy who lived a criminal life. I'm a pretty straight shooter. I've always tried to be a good soldier, and I have no problem, none whatsoever, in living with those conditions.
All right, so here's the other side of that. As an easily recognized person in the community, if you're granted parole, how will you handle public scrutiny in the community?
Well, I've been recognized ever since I was 19 years old. I'm sure Bruce will tell you, wherever we've been, it's always a crowd. This is not new to me. Rarely have I even in the last 20 years, rarely have I even had any person give me any negative stuff in the street. I mean, people give you looks and everything, but I'm pretty easily approachable. I've dealt with it my whole life, and I really don't foresee any problem dealing with the public now at all.
Okay, and Mr. Simpson, we've been, since we've been made aware that you're requesting to live in Florida, I've asked Captain Sean Arudi to come to today's hearing and explain the pre-release and interstate compact process for us. Captain Arudi is an officer with the Nevada Division of Parole and Probation. He's also the Interstate Compact Commissioner for the state of Nevada, so I'm going to ask him to come forward. And again, these are things that would happen behind the scenes with any hearing that we would have, but because we have a crowd of people that are asking questions, we thought it'd be best to have Captain Arudi present to explain it to everyone.
Thank you. I may stay in Nevada, but I don't think you guys want me here.
Good morning, Captain Sean Arudi from the Department of Public Safety, Division of Parole and Probation. As Chairman Bisbee shared with you, I serve two roles. I'm a captain with the Division of Parole and Probation for headquarters, and I also serve as the commissioner for Nevada for the Interstate Compact. When it comes to the Interstate Compact, the things that are looked at is what is your support system in that other state? Are you a resident of the other state as defined by the compact, meaning that you were living there for at least a year prior to the date that you committed the offense? Or do you have resident family there that can serve as your support system? And resident family is fairly specific, but adult siblings and adult children can serve as your resident family sponsor to provide you with that tie to the other state that would allow you to qualify for a transfer. But that's just the first part of it. First, we have to establish what your support system is and whether or not you qualify for that transfer, and then we make the determination if it's in your best interest to request that transfer for you. Once we make that decision, there's an offender application for transfer, which includes a waiver of extradition, which is required to be signed before anyone is allowed to submit a request for transfer to another state. What that does is it outlines to you what the requirements of the compact are, that you're subject to terms and conditions not only by the sending state, which in this case would be Nevada, but also by the receiving state. If you were looking to join your family in Florida, that the Florida would be able to impose conditions on you that would be consistent in the same manner that they would treat one of their own offenders in a like circumstance. From the once that offender application for transfer with the waiver of extradition, and the waiver of extradition serves the purpose that if for some reason you violate the terms and conditions of your supervision, you understand that Nevada has the authority to come and return you to Nevada to answer for those violations. Once we obtain that signed offender application, we will process that along with the other paperwork and documents that we need to submit to the other state, and they will then have up to 45 days to conduct their investigation on whether or not you qualify for the transfer and whether or not you have a valid plan of supervision. Once they determine that, Their caseworkers will forward that through their compact office back to the Nevada compact office. And once we have a decision by that other state, then that would be provided to you through your case manager at the Department of Corrections. That's how the interstate compact part works. On the pre-release side, the pre-release, we have pre-release specialists who work closely with the caseworkers at the Nevada Department of Corrections, and they help to develop that valid plan of supervision we were talking about. What is your plan of release? Where do you want to go to? Who's your support system? Once they make that determination, they process the information that's necessary. And in this case, if you were to apply for an interstate compact, our pre-release specialists would be the ones to forward those documents to the other state for their consideration. Once a determination was made and once a valid plan was developed, then they would work with your caseworker to set up your release, and your caseworker would then manage the release through the Nevada Department of Corrections.
Does the panel have any questions for Captain Arudi? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Laverne, I'm going to defer to the two of you and Mr. Simpson. We'd like Mr. Simpson to be able to tell us anything else he'd like to tell us. We'd also like to hear from one of the supporters if one of them wishes to make a brief statement to the board. And we would also like to hear your statement, Mr. Laverne. So I'm going to put that back to you as to what order you want those three things to happen.
We're going to hear from Mr. Simpson's daughter, Arnell Simpson, first, and then I'll make some closing remarks.
Okay. And Officer Batista, if you will make that switch for us, please.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. And if you will give us your name and for the record and your relationship to Mr. Simpson.
Yes, I am Arnell Simpson, my dad's oldest child of 4.
Okay, Ms. Simpson, welcome, and feel free to speak.
Thank you. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. So are we. I know it's a lot. As you know, I'm here on behalf of my family for the purpose of expressing what we believe is the true character of my father. No one really knows how much we have been through this ordeal in the last 9 years. Excuse me. My experience with him is that he's like my best friend and my rock. And as a family, we recognize that he is not the perfect man, but he's clearly a man and a father who has done his best to behave in a way that speaks to his overall nature and character, which is always to be positive no matter what. He has spent the last 9 years in Lovelock, as we all know, and has been a perfect inmate, following all the rules and making the best of the situation, which is truly amazing to me under the circumstances. The choice that he made 9 years ago that resulted in the sentencing were clearly inappropriate and wrong and counterproductive to what he was trying to achieve. As a family, we were all there to celebrate a wedding of a very good friend. As his daughter, I can honestly say my dad recognizes that he took the wrong approach and could not handle the situation. He could have handled the situation differently. My siblings, I, and family know that he didn't make the right decision on that day, but we know that his intentions were not to go in and to just make the wrong decision at the wrong time. Throughout this ordeal, we have remained close. We have stayed strong. And I, for myself, am grateful to God for giving us the strength to get through this last 9 years and to stay positive always, no matter what. And a lot of that is because of him. So on behalf of my family, my brother, my sister, an aunt, an uncle, his friends, we just want him to come home. We really do. We want him to come home. And I know in my heart that he's very humbled throughout the situation. This has been hard. Let me be honest. This has been really, truly hard. And there's no right or wrong way to explain how to handle this. But we do know that, I know that he is remorseful. He truly is remorseful. And we just want him to come home so that we can move forward for us, quietly, but to move forward. So I thank you for allowing me to be here this morning. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson. We appreciate you being present and we appreciate your comments. And Officer Batista, if you would bring Mr. Laverne and Mr. Simpson back to the table, please.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Laverne, this would be the time for you and Mr. Simpson to make any closing remarks that you'd like to make.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. Of a letter I provided through your liaison. It's an undated letter from Mr. Simpson to Assemblyman Osvaldo Fumo. That should have been provided to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We do have that.
All right.
On the record.
So give me 2 seconds to get set up here, because that's where I'm going to start. Did you take the letter? I can't find it now. Switch. So. And the letter, as you can see, is very short, so I think it would be appropriate just to read it into the record, if the commissioners would allow me to.
That'd be fine.
Okay. But the first thing I have to do is find it. Here it is. By way of setting this letter up, by the way, the most important part about this letter is that this was not a letter that Mr. Simpson provided to me, okay? What happened is Mr. Simpson at some point wanted me to communicate with an individual by the name of Osvaldo Fumo. He's an assemblyman now, and prior to that time, and still now, he's an attorney. And in the interest of full disclosure, he actually was one of Mr. Simpson's attorneys during the habeas proceedings related to this case. But since that time, Osvaldo, or Ozzy as I call him, he's a friend of mine too, he became an assemblyman with the Nevada legislature. And after that, Mr. Simpson sent Mr. Fumo a letter, and I found out about that letter, not through Mr. Simpson. I found out about this letter through Mr. Fumo when I was advised to thank Ozzy Fumo for providing some, was it books and some educational equipment to the prison here at Lovelock, Nevada. And so I'm going to read that letter. And by the way, Mr. Simpson did authenticate this letter this morning. I'd only produced this to him this morning when I got to see him prior to this hearing. He did indicate that he was the one who wrote this letter. And even though it's not dated, he indicated it was probably sent to Ozzy within the last 9 months or so. Dear Legislator Fumo, first of all, allow me to say how happy I was to hear about your new position as a state legislator, although I was not surprised to hear about your interest in furthering the education and helping of prison inmates. I must admit, I've always taken my exposure to education for granted, partly due to my prowess as an athlete. I have always been afforded opportunities for higher education. It wasn't until I got to prison that I realized just how many people did not have the exposure to said education, in part because of their circumstances, i.e. gangs, bad neighborhoods, lack of parental supervision, poverty, etc. But Ozzie, I can't tell you how inspiring it is to see how said inmates have taken advantage of the educational department and the advantages that it offers. I have seen a change in some inmates as far as their self-esteem goes that is amazing. They come to me to talk about subjects that they would have never even thought about before their exposure to education. They talk to me about things they want to do when they are released, things they never would have thought about they were capable of before. They say, quote, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks," end quote, and as a, quote, "old dog," end quote, my friend, I can tell you that is not true. I am currently taking a computer science course, or just a computer course that has shown me that even I am capable of learning new skills. These new skills, at the very minimum, will help me better communicate with my children. Who knows, you may even see a webcast or blog in my future. I work in the athletic department here at Lovelock, and I fully enjoy what I do and can tell you that this is very important for the inmates to have a release for their energy and for recreation. But I can think of no better place to use state funds than to educate, add to their self-esteem, and to prepare these guys for their eventual release. In closing, I want to tell you how much I look forward to following your political career and your participation in what I know will be a very successful prison educational program. Gratefully yours, Orenthal J. Simpson. And it's signed by Mr. Simpson. And the reason I wanted to read this to you is because, and just kind of surprise Mr. Simpson with it,
looks like we got a connection issue here with the CNN. That's what I was afraid of. But, you know, I'll try to find another link.
What I would consider one of Mr. Simpson's first opportunities to have clout in the political system of the state of Nevada. He pretty much has an end at that point. He has Ozzie Fumo, who they had an attorney-client relationship with, a very good relationship, and now Ozzie is in the assembly. He's in a position of power. And what does Mr. Simpson do? Does he say, Ozzie, can I have a better bed? Or does he say, Ozzie, can you pull some strings, get me out of here earlier? No, he doesn't do any of that. He uses that clout. The one time he has some clout in the state of Nevada, he uses that clout to obtain funding for books and education in this prison. You know, and some of those men, as Mr. Simpson said, they really are going to get out and they're going to have a decent and a better life for themselves as the result of Mr. Simpson's efforts through Mr. Fumo. I think that's the definition of character. And frankly, I think if it was me personally who had been in prison for 9 years, and frankly, forget 9 years, 9 days, if I had that opportunity in a position of someone in a position of power who could do something for me like this, I would be saying, get me out of jail, okay? But he doesn't do that. It is very, very, very selfless. He's thinking about the people here, and it's also the definition someone had asked earlier about being humbled and some humility. It also shows a genuine form of humility that he has the capabilities to think of people here who are not as empowered and not as privileged as he has been, and when he gets out, probably will continue to be in society. So that's the first part of my closing remarks. The second part of my closing remarks is to deal with the other individual in this case that was a victim. He's not here. Mr. Furlong is sitting right here, and that's Mr. Beardsley. Mr. Beardsley, as you, I'm sure, are aware, is no longer with us. He passed away in about November of 2015. However, Mr. Beardsley and Mr. Furlong have made calls to my office, and I've spoken to them both at various points. And the last time I recall speaking to Mr. Beardsley was in September of 2011. This is not that long after I'd maybe been representing Mr. Simpson for a couple of years at that point. I was a little uncomfortable that Mr. Beardsley, who is a victim in a case, and my client is considered the person who victimized him, was calling me. So I did explain to him that I wanted to record the conversation, and he consented, and I asked him if he wanted an attorney before he talked to me. He said he was fine. I say this, I bring up this recorded conversation because I reviewed it in anticipation of this hearing, and that was from 2011, as I stated before. And since he's no longer here, I think I could just speak from the dead, speak from someone who's speaking from the dead. He indicated in no uncertain terms in that conversation that he had cleared up this matter with Mr. Simpson. He was trying his hardest to do whatever he wanted to get Mr. Simpson out of prison, and they had just made it right. Mr. Simpson had apologized to him, and they had just basically made it right. And he was and he had sent letters to Mr. Simpson, and Mr. Simpson hadn't responded, and that was probably on the advice of counsel at the time. And then also there was another issue and Mr. Simpson has raised this issue, and I want to emphasize this again, that Mr. Beardsley had a set of photos, and these are not memorabilia. Mr. Simpson, if he didn't make his point already, he could care less about some signed football or some signed photos. He could care less about it. He could rip them up and burn them up. I know they mean a lot to a lot of people, but that was not what was really the true impetus for what happened here. What was the true impetus is that there were intimate family photos that were taken from him, literally stolen. And there's no dispute that these would not be any type of judgment, collections. These are just intimate family photos. Mr. Simpson had a former family, he had a second family. There's pictures of him with his mother and other things, famous celebrities, and they were not subject to being taken. They probably have no value to most people, but they have all the value in the world of Mr. Simpson. They're not footballs. And that's what set it off. And Mr. Beardsley had these photos, or he at least represented to me on the phone that he had these photos. And I had made every effort that I could to try and obtain those intimate family photos that I was well aware were basically all Mr. Simpson wanted in the first place. Unfortunately, whatever happened, Mr. Beardsley was never able to get those to me. He explained that he had them, and I tried to make every effort to get those from him. And then at some point along the line, we lost contact, and then I just discovered that he had passed away. But I will speak on Mr. Beardsley's behalf from that phone conversation that at least as of September of 2011, him and Mr. Simpson had made things right. Okay. And finally, and again, obviously the commission is not used to hearing where victims are calling people who are in prison their attorneys and having multiple conversations with them. I've also had Mr. Fremont, Bruce Fremont, who's sitting right here to my left and will testify shortly. He's also called my office. He had called before many years ago, and we had spoken, and I can't necessarily remember the substance of those conversations. They weren't recorded, or if they were, I couldn't find them in my files. But he's recently called again. He called me on July 3rd, and he called me on July 14th, and both times I missed the calls, but I called him back. And I can hear that Mr. Fremont has made things, and Mr. Simpson have made things right with each other, that he's accepted Mr. Simpson's apology wholeheartedly. He seems to be a fundamentally really, really good guy who's fallen on some hard times recently. And he told me that he would be coming in and testifying favorably for Mr. Simpson. I made sure I told him probably 15 or 20 times to say whatever he wanted to say, because, obviously Mr. Simpson's attorney talking to a victim, it could be interpreted the wrong way. So again, Mr. Fremont, say whatever you want to say. Nobody's telling you how to testify here. And one of the things that we did, and I did inform the parole and probation about both of those conversations on July 3rd and July 14th. And one of the things that we did spend a lot of time, that was a small portion of our conversations, was the remorse on Mr. Simpson's part that Mr. Fremont accepted. Most of the time we were talking about some other unfortunate things that happened with Mr. Fremont. I believe, I know because I've researched this now. There was some civil litigation that went on out there, and this was against primarily against one of the uncharged co-defendants in this case, individual named Riccio. Something happened in this civil litigation, and I don't know what's going on with it at this point in time, other than Mr. Fremont addressed those concerns with me. I told him that I would look into it. I explained to him that he really should talk to his lawyers who were involved in that civil litigation to try and make that judgment do whatever he wants it to do. And it was unfortunate. I believe that this kind of is an opportunity to show you that in the criminal case he's completely the victim, but he filed this civil lawsuit, and the jury actually found Frommong 16% liable for what happened here. It was pretty unique, to say the least. In any event, Mr. Frommong is going to testify, but I did feel that I needed to note that I don't think I have a point to prove with Mr. Frommong, other than he did represent that he was going to testify favorably for Mr. Simpson, and that he did discuss with me on multiple occasions this idea of some civil judgment out there that he was hoping that Mr. Simpson could take care of for him. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Simpson, did you have any closing remarks?
I hadn't heard any, except that, I've come here, I've spent 9 years making no excuses about anything. I am sorry that things turned out the way they did. I had no intent to commit a crime. I came here, I tell the inmates all the time, man, I don't want to hear about your crime. Argue in court here, we're all convicts. I'm a convict. Do your time and don't do anything to extend your time. I told the warden when I got here, Mr. LaGrange, I think it was, Ms. Carpenter and Ms. Megan, that I would be no problem. I believe in this jury system. I will honor what the jury said, and I will be no problem, and I think I kept my word. As I said, I've done my time. I'd just like to get back to my family and friends, and believe it or not, I do have some real friends, but I don't think I could have represented this prison. I don't think any inmate has ever represented it better than I. I did my time. I tried to be helpful to everybody. And as I said, Bruce and Beardsley, I made up with them years ago, so I'm sorry it happened. I'm sorry to Nevada. I wish Riccio had never called me. I thought I was glad to get my stuff back, but it wasn't worth it. 9 years away from your family is just not worth it. And I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just one more thing for the record. Your expiration is, as of today, 9/29/22, and for all those people in the world wonder how that adds up to 33 years in the state of Nevada. Good behavior, complying with the rules, can mean up to a 50% reduction off the back end of your sentence. If granted parole, that September 29, 2022 time could even move closer. So I wanted to put that on the record. And at this point, I'll ask Officer Batista if you will move Mr. Laverne and Mr. Simpson again, and we invite Mr. Frommong to the table, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Frommong, your own name on the record for us, please, and then proceed.
Yes, it is Bruce Frommong, and I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak today. First and foremost, I'd like to state that I'm not here just as Mr. Simpson's friend of almost 27 years, because that I am. But today I'm also appearing as the victim of the crime on September 30th, or September 13th of 2007. On that day, I felt that Mr. Simpson was misguided, not by himself, but also by Tom Riccio. He was led to believe that on that day there were going to be thousands of pieces of his personal memorabilia, pictures of his wife, from his first marriage, pictures of his kids, Arnell and Jason, family heirlooms. He was told there were going to be possibly his wife's wedding ring, thousands of things. He was misled about what was going to be there that day. A man named Thomas Riccio had promised him this big this big package. In reality, Thomas Risio had never met me. Never had met me in his entire life till the night of the robbery. He got there and saw all this stuff. He went down, he got OJ, and instead of telling him that that's not what was there, he brought him up anyway. And when OJ got there, unfortunately he was already worked up and had people with him that were hollering and screaming. There was a lot of commotion going on in a very, very small room. Real small room, wasn't it, OJ? And a lot of things happened very quickly. And unfortunately, if OJ had just said, everybody out of here, OJ, Bruce and I need to talk for a minute, none of this needed to happen. But that didn't happen. And it took, one of the things I want to make clear is that it took me 2 years in a California court, because in a judge's infinite wisdom, instead of going ahead and turning things back over, everything got sent to a California court to get straightened out. And after having to fight the Goldman's lawyers, OJ's lawyers, and it took me 2 years to get back with over 600 items. A majority of it did come back to me because I had to go back 19 years through our friendship, but I had to go back 19 years and produce records for almost 98% of the stuff. And it is true that items in that room belonged to OJ. There were no two ways about it. But it's also true that I have never stolen anything from OJ. I have never stolen from OJ. I think OJ will admit that I did not ever take anything from you. It wasn't me. An ex-partner of mine and his mistress, Christy Lukemeyer, have taken things. Other people have taken things from OJ, but I have never stolen from OJ. OJ is my friend, always has been, and I hope will remain my friend. But there were things in that room, and I admit to that. And I'm sorry things did not work out differently. But there were, and I will make this clear to you, OJ never held a gun on me. There was a coward in that room, a man named McClinton, came up gangster style, acting like a big man. He held the gun on me, not OJ. Another man came in, hit me, not OJ. He never laid a hand on me. A lot of people are yelling, bag that stuff up. Let's get out of here. During the trial, after I'd already testified against OJ, and this is why I absolutely believe him, after I'd already testified against OJ, I'd already said everything I had to say, we happened to pass each other in the hallway. And OJ came up to me and said, can I talk to you for a minute? And we had a chance to talk to each other. And I told him I'm sorry that I did not get the opportunity to call him and tell him that I had that stuff. Those few items that belonged to him, I told him I'm sorry that I did not take the opportunity to call him, because we'd been apart for a long time. We hadn't had a chance to talk for many, many years. And I'd been buying stuff from Mike Gilbert, and I wish I had of. And he said, Bruce, I can't tell you how sorry I am. And we've got a saying between us, it is what it is. And he put his hand out, I shook his hand, and I said, I forgive you. We all make mistakes. OJ made his. He's been here, and from what I've told, he's been a model inmate. He's been an example to others. During the trial, I recommended that he serve 1 to 3 years. That's what I recommended to the DA. And I'm here to say that I've known OJ for a long time. I don't feel that he's a threat to anyone out there. He's a good man. I know that he does a lot for other people. And I feel that 9.5 to 33 years was way too long. And I feel that it's time to give him a second chance. It's time for him to go home to his family, his friends. This is a good man. He made a mistake. And if he called me tomorrow and said, Bruce, I'm getting out, will you pick me up? Juice, I'll be here tomorrow for you. I mean that, though.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments. Appreciate you being present today. Thank you. And so, Mr.
Thank you for
Laverne
this opportunity.
You're welcome. Mr. Laverne and Mr. Simpson, if you'll return to the table, please. Before we break for deliberation, I want to ask the panel members if they have any other last questions, anything that... Okay. What's going to happen now is deliberation. Again, another thing we do with every single case, but a little differently today because, frankly, we need our offices back, folks. So we're hoping to deliberate, come to an agreement, and be able to produce an order sometime in the next 30 minutes or so. So what's going to happen is we are going to break and then after deliberating, we'll come back to this room. I'll ask each commissioner to vote. I'll vote myself. If we are able to agree when those votes are cast, that will be a final decision. If it becomes obvious that there is a split on this particular panel, I have Commissioners Eddie Gray and Commissioner Michael Keeler stand by in Las Vegas, and we will call them, they will either cast a vote then or ask for to return to deliberation. So that is what we're planning at this moment. We are about to leave the room. I know Officer Batista is going to arrange to clear the courtroom there also. I ask that here that you give us about 2 minutes to clear out of the room so that you're not chasing us down the hall. And then we'll give you a 5-minute notice that our deliberation is over and that we're ready to cast votes. So on that, I will call this hearing into recess, and we will return after deliberation.
Well, it sounds like all the necessary people involved in this hearing, parole hearing for O.J. Simpson, has completed, as O.J. is escorted out of the room.
And there it goes. You have been listening.
It's an interesting hearing. I've never really watched anything quite like this. It seemed to have been kind of loosey-goosey, but not very formal, if you will. I was a little concerned with his lawyer. Couldn't find the letter that he eventually found and read, but things didn't seem to be very smooth to me. And maybe that's the way parole hearings go. I just don't know. But we'll see what comes out of this. I'll keep an eye on it, and if they come back with their decision here in the next few minutes, we'll go back to it and bring that to you. But what are your thoughts, Carol? I know you were kind of not really paying attention to the whole thing, but based on what you heard, what do you believe is going to happen?
I don't think I'm on. Am I on?
Sure.
I'm on.
You're on.
Well, I kind of would like to see him leave.
Uh-huh.
I felt a little positive for him. If not, I'm going to feel really bad for him if they seem to be pretty positive towards him.
Mm-hmm.
I think where he might have messed up when he agreed to go to AA while he was in prison.
Right.
even though he said he wasn't an alcoholic. But he agreed to that.
Right.
So I'm hoping that didn't hurt him.
Yeah, I hope so too. But if you don't have a substance problem, then why you have to go through that is kind of interesting to me.
Well, because wasn't he drunk or something in a rage, he said, when that happened?
Well, yeah, he said he had a few drinks because it was a wedding celebration. And, you know, I mean, that's what you do when you go to those events.
But he did agree to, when he was in there to go to AA, she made a point of that.
Yeah. That might be held against him. We don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Just looking at him.
I mean, going to AA is one thing, but hell, you haven't had a drink in 9 years. It's not like he's been in there freaking out and having convulsions and going through, you know, withdrawals and all that kind of stuff. So if he had a drinking problem, he'd probably is over with it.
It kind of struck me weird when they said that part of it would be paying those people.
Yeah.
But they said the $5 million that's sitting, they can't touch that.
Right. Yeah, that's money he got from his pension. I don't think that's
all I know is they cannot
that.
touch it. He's got $5 million that they can't touch.
Right. Yeah, it's his pension money from the NFL. Let's see, who do we have up here? We got Alpha. Alpha, we haven't heard from you today. Were you paying attention to the parole hearing here today for OJ? Or is he still asleep? Let's go to Chris Bass.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like you, I've never seen that before. And once again, I don't know what the protocol is to kind of loosey-goosey or not. Malcolm Laverne, who's the OJ's attorney, I have to agree with ABC chief analyst Dan Abrams. It came off sloppy.
Yeah, I thought so.
It came off like, yeah, it was very amiss, kind of aloof a little bit, like he's trying to find his words, find his thoughts. That's the last thing you need when you're trying to get paroled is your attorney coming off aloof.
Yeah.
What he did.
It was a little strange. It didn't seem organized or prepared. Right. And I was watching OJ's facial expressions, and he definitely had some facial expressions that says, man, what the hell are you doing over there? Get your shit together. Right. I'm trying to get up out of here, man. Come on.
Exactly.
Whose side are you on?
My game got to be airtight right now, man. You dropping the ball.
Really, man? Where's your head?
But, yeah, it came out. See, I would be nervous if my attorney was like that. I mean, that's the last thing you need. Once again, presentation counts and
absolutely
devotion to accuracy. And plus he quoted a dead man. You don't do that. That's the last thing you want to need is, well, I'm going to talk for a dead man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Carol, you have some more comments?
Well, no, I was going to say something that just happened because then I'm leaving. Lincoln Park, do you know that group?
Yeah.
The young Chester Bennington just killed himself.
Oh, no.
They found him. He hung himself. He committed suicide.
Wow.
They have no further stuff, and I thought I'd tell you that right now.
Wow. That's sad. Yeah, Lincoln Park was a major group.
Yeah, 41 years old.
Yeah.
And they said he
sad.
committed suicide. His wife found him hanging.
Wow. Found him in his home, I assume?
Yes, so.
Yeah.
I just seen it.
Yeah, I don't know the members of that group, but, I certainly know the group, and, they've had a pretty good career of
He was the front man.
He was the lead singer?
I guess so. They say front man. He was 41, according to TMZ. His wife discovered his body early this morning.
Yeah.
He reportedly hanged himself.
Well, farewell, my friend, and whatever was troubling you, I hope that your family can find some peace with it. When you take your own life, you leave a lot behind for your loved ones and family members and friends to wrestle with. And sometimes we don't know people are having some issues, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, financial. There's all kind of issues that impact.
I advise people, there's nothing wrong with going to a therapist. I'm getting ready to go to one right now. It doesn't, and I'm not embarrassed by it.
No.
Because there's things you can talk to them about I don't want to talk to anybody else about. And
no?
Sometimes people need to do that.
I agree.
It really helps.
That is true.
So I'm going to get out of here, and I'll be back in about an hour.
Okay, cool. Now we're going to Do they give you sodium pentothal when you go into those meetings?
No, they don't.
Okay.
They give you a little bit of time, and then they try to give you a drug, and you say, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to take Valiums. I don't want to take Xanax.
Well, yeah, I know they don't need to give that to you.
Actually, I'm trying to get into a meditation class that
Yeah?
Kaiser offers, and he's got to approve it.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. That might
I'll
help
be
you.
back.
If that doesn't help
here,
you,
right?
Yeah.
I'll be back with your water.
Okay. And if that doesn't work, Carol, I got some therapy for you. I know you don't want it, but it might be good for you. I'm going to bring Apollo in. He's got some duct tape for you. Red ball and duct tape roll.
Uh-oh.
They were all yours.
Gag, man.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably left over from last night.
Oh man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lee. You know, I'm sorry, your feed's going in and out a little bit, so I couldn't really hear. She mentioned about who hanged themselves. I didn't catch that part. I apologize.
The lead singer from the group Lincoln Park.
Oh, okay.
The group,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, recording group Lincoln Park. Yeah,
right, I don't. Right.
I don't. I didn't know him, so I don't know what to say about it. But I certainly know the group, and the fact that they were a popular group. Back in the 90s?
The 90s, especially during the grunge era during that time as well. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah, damn good group.
Yep, exactly.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, especially when when you take your own life. That's very troubling.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
To say the very least. And when you read about those people who hang or kill themselves, a lot of people say how selfish they are because they don't think about the people they leave behind because they think that they're alone. In reality, that they're not. Because they always hear about their family and friends coming forward, or if they left some sort of journal or last notes, something like that, or last letters, and then you realize that they really had people in their lives, but they were distant or didn't hear from them.
Exactly. Sounds like we got Alfo back. Alfo, do you have some comments about the O.J. parole hearing?
Well, first of all, I want to speak directly to the darkness of this latter part of the show. You had O.J. smoozing up and kissing ass to get out.
Well, that's what he's supposed to do.
I come back to the headphones and you're speaking of hangings and suicides. And can a brother get a happy day going?
Well, it sounds like the kids in the background are having a happy day, so...
Oh, happy
days are here again.
Yeah, if I had a hammer. How the song go?
See, now that's as dark as you can get right there, boy.
Thank you.
Damn.
And none of them older than 6. Okay?
Oh boy. Well, you know what?
And there's 5 of them back there.
Good. Leave those kids alone.
Five little caskets were ushered down.
You're a sick man.
Now, hold on a second. We go from O.J. parole trial to hanging to 5 little coffins, and you talk about that's not
right,
dark.
Exactly. That's about lights out.
I was keeping up with the program, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me mute you real quick here.
Did Carol leave?
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh, okay.
She had to go see her therapist, apparently.
Yeah, she was the one that brought up the hanging.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, the lead singer from the
group, they just made O.J. just schmooze and kiss all the behind he possibly could kiss. You know, there's a saying, what was it, Harlem Nights, where Della Reese told him to kiss her entire ass.
Right.
He sure did.
What, do you think he did a good job? Do you think there's any chance they can let him out?
I think they have. It would be for them not to let him out, they would all have to be sitting there with Klan hoods on, and someone has to be a relative of Nicole and Goldman. Where was the father? I thought maybe he would be there at the procession going, don't let him out, don't let him out, don't let him out. You know.
Who Ron Goldman's father?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Fred. Yeah, in fact, Fred was doing an interview afterwards with George Stephanopoulos on ABC, so he's there in New York.
Oh yeah, yeah. So why Steph? Why is Stephanopoulos even interviewing him? Why? It has nothing to do with his son and none of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is a continuation of a vendetta that they will always carry for that man. They're talking about how will he interact with the public? Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He got money and he's going to sit on that money until he gets off parole. He's going to sit right there in his compound. And I would sit right there in the compound.
You know, for his benefit, that if they let him out, which I'm not certain that they will, but if they do, and he's allowed to go to Florida, I think that's a habitat that he's comfortable with, and I don't think he got into real trouble down there. And what's left in his physical capabilities, I know he enjoyed playing golf, and that's
why would they not let him out? Well, I don't understand. He's a model. He's a model prisoner.
But when does that ever matter? Really? Come on.
Oh, he's black. That's right.
Well, that's part of it, and I think there's still a lot of people, and maybe some of the people on this parole board feel that this is the get back for what they didn't get in the murder trial.
But that's how cynical
it is. But
our
that's
justice system is.
Sure,
it has nothing to.
I'm just dealing with the facts.
With the rest, with the murders of his ex-wife.
Absolutely.
And Goldman. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. But
it's a whole separate issue.
It is, but it comes into play.
There were websites talking about him being busted masturbating and all.
Yeah, that's all bullshit.
That's
right.
Yeah, but
even if it did, so what? What the hell you expect?
I mean, that's how they get at you. That's how they get at you.
I had a doctor that told me that you should ejaculate at least 3 times a day. It's healthy for your prostate. I mean, not a day, a week. So, not that I subscribe to that, but
I missed that
day. Come on, Lee. You driving Uber and Lyft? I mean, I know you stressed out, man. You got to go back home and,
Not only that, guys.
Rub one out.
No, I ain't got time. Shit. I was out almost at 3 o'clock in the morning driving last night, so I'm lucky to be here.
I thought you stopped Uber.
Well, I came back when they got rid of the CEO, and they've made some changes. They now allow the passengers to tip, although the passengers have not been properly notified, and most passengers don't update their damn app, so they don't see it. So there's still no damn tips from Uber. I get more tips from Lyft.
From Lyft. So is it against the rules to put "you may tip" in your Uber?
No, it isn't. But I don't want to look like a damn taxi with a bunch of damn signs in my car and all that bullshit. So I don't have those signs. But I know a lot of drivers that do. But I just don't want to look like a gypsy taxi cab. That's one guy who would with shit hanging all over his car and signs. But I was told that you're not supposed to do that. But
or you can start by taking that turban off your head, okay?
No turban. The only turban on here is this chrome dome I got here that's shining in the camera. But that's about it.
It's all natural.
Yeah, that's
all natural.
Yeah, exactly. Last night I was dropping off this half-drunk dude. And where was I? I was either in Dana Point or San Clemente, south of L.A., quite a bit south. And the guy said, "Oh, can you back up? We passed my house." I said, "Yeah, this thing has been acting a little weird tonight. It'll indicate that we're there after the fact." So I'm backing the guy up because I know he's having a little trouble speaking and walking. So I'm backing up. And I backed into a damn fire hydrant, man. Messed my bumper up. How did I do that?
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. So I know that's probably going to be $1,500 worth of damage. It's not that much. It's a bunch of damn plastic on these cars. And so, now I got to deal with that. So he said, "Hey, man, I feel bad." I said, "Well, no, it's okay. I was driving. You weren't driving."
You can't blame the sandy asses for that one.
Exactly. He said, "Wow, man, I feel bad." I want to say, "Well, give me a tip for about $1,500. Then you'll really feel bad." But I'm hurting right now, fool. Get on in now,
right?
Drunk ass ball. It was a $3 trip, so I'm pissed off.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, man, a little short ass trip, and now I got $1,500 or more worth of bumper damage. I'm hurting. I'm pissed.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's all good. Maybe I can get the insurance company to take care of it. But I hate to do that, you know. Why do you feel that way? You pay your insurance premiums every month, but then you don't want to go to the insurance company when you have a little accident.
Yeah, because they're going to go up on your
Jack
interest.
you
They're
up.
going to go up on your rate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to go up on your rate, you know.
Give you the jabbo.
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
that is the blueprint for greed. Insurance companies, be it life, auto, home. I don't care what. If it's insurance,
it's gangster.
Okay, at best.
Exactly.
And speaking of gangster,
what?
You know, Robert, the special prosecutor, the special whatever the investigator, he bet not go out of his lane. You know, at what point is this above witness tampering or witness intimidation or prosecutorial intimidation and the whole 9 yards? You know, Jeff Sessions and the rest of them, I mean, he has no faith in Jeff Sessions. Why Jeff Sessions should have stepped down?
Well, listen, isn't it interesting that he's turned against his chief prosecutor? I mean, come on, man.
Well,
this guy has no loyalty to anyone.
Let me put it
but he wants you to be loyal to him with all of his criminal acts. Now, the compounded fracture here is Tillerson. When he was the CEO of Exxon,
right?
Exxon just got slapped with a $2 million fine because they were doing illegal business with the Russians.
$2 million? $2 million?
Was it 2 or more?
Let me put it like this: Exxon, that's on the toilet paper roll in the bathroom.
Oh, of course.
Okay. I mean, and that's what gets me about this whole regulated. You know, ain't nobody
exactly a $2 million fine.
That's the price of doing business.
Yeah, the $2 million fine against Exxon is less than the bonus for most of these executives. Who are doing a bad job, they get a bonus. When the company goes down, they get a bonus. When the company goes up, they get a bigger bonus. So $2 million is poppycock compared to what the bonuses of these CEOs and chairmen and board of directors get. So it should have been $200 million.
Well, that's the same thing as Sessions stepping in to change a settlement where the oil company was going to pay $230 million.
Yeah.
And he came in and settled for $6 million. Or Chris Christie. Chris Christie settled, and for the folks in Jersey, Chris Christie settled for something like $20 million, and the judgment would have been something in the area of $1.5 billion. And Chris Christie stepped in and settled for $20 million.
Well, I'm monitoring the outcome of the OJ thing in one ear, and I'm listening to you in the other, so you know I'm confused.
Well, the OJ thing, like they said, the OJ thing means he might get out in October.
Right.
You know, and that's if they give him parole, he'll get out in October.
Yeah, that'll mark the 9 years, right? The minimum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, Jesus, I mean...
But if there's a split decision, if that happens, then the next hearing will be in January of 2018.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see why they wouldn't let him out, but...
Well, I think they... I'll be a little surprised if they do, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm. Well, you think so?
Yeah. I'm not optimistic. I'm not optimistic on this one. I think they're going to wait until the next parole hearing.
Yeah, if that were to happen, he should get a new attorney because that guy.
Yeah, this guy.
Sucked wind.
Yeah. He did. I mean, he really did. He was not prepared.
No, hell's no.
I think I would have gotten another 20 years because I think I would have probably backhanded him right there in the freaking place. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?
Right, you ruined the whole damn thing. You
really? Jeebity weebity.
Put his hands out. All right, put me back in jail.
Exactly. Well, I deserve this one, Your Honor.
That's right.
I'm good.
This one I'll fess
Lock
up
my
to,
monkey
right?
ass up again.
I'll take this one.
Really? And I think most people would agree. He deserved that backhand.
Go upside his head, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Pick the chair up and just flip him over. Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to. I'm trying to listen to the attorney. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Screwing up.
You putting me under the jail. I'm trying to get away from the jail.
Exactly.
Let me hear. Let me find my papers here. Hold on a second. I'm like, come on, man.
I know it's here somewhere. I had it last night.
Hold on a second.
Hey, OJ, you got a copy of it? OJ's looking at it. He's rolling his eyes. Oh, what the hell are you doing,
crack
man?
Up your ass. See if you can find it for me. Will you please?
Can we take a little recess here? And maybe I left it in my car.
Hold on a second, OJ. OJ, do you have a copy? I lost my copy of the paper.
And then the whole setup to the assemblyman was kind of awkward as well. His whole setup to that one, the letter that OJ sent to the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could have bypassed all that shit, man. Just read the damn letter.
Thank you.
Come on.
Right.
Cut through the chase.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the letter.
Gee whiz.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we have a recess, please? Can we have a recess and do me a favor. Oh, do you have a copy of the letter? I lost mine.
No, fool. I don't have no damn copy of the thing. What's wrong with you, man?
Well, look in the crack of your ass and see if you can find it for me. Will you, OJ? I can't find it right now. Yeah, give me a copy. Okay, I got your copy.
Now, what do you think
like ass, OJ?
Really? What do you think of the guy that came out and who was the alleged victim, and he came out and he almost went into tears, praising OJ, and then he's a nice guy and all of that. So it was. I think it was kind of What's his name?
Yeah, Bruce Fromong.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I mean, here's a guy that was the robbery victim back in 2007.
Right.
And he says that OJ never put a gun out on him, and that was all falsified information, that they had shook hands and made up, and that he should be released. That could be debatable because we don't know what kind of deal they struck. I mean, we don't know for sure if it was genuine or not. Fromong has been in the press saying prior to this he will come to the trial, which he for the deliberation, which he did today for the right, and to be paroled. So I don't know. That was kind of I don't know. It was kind of strange.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if it came out genuine or not for me. It was really strange.
I think it was, but I think he's just as much of a criminal. I mean, if you sit there holding the man's property for ransom, isn't that a crime? You're holding stolen goods
from OJ.
But how do you think? How do you think that this property became available? OJ sold it to somebody, and then now it's in your hands. Did you pay for it?
He explained that his partner and his mistress had absconded with OJ's shit for personal reasons. But
I noticed that when he got up and walked away, there was a lot of flames coming from his ass because he was lying. Liar.
Now, Steve, that's going to hell with gasoline draws. That's
exactly.
Just good, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah, it was. It was very awkward. Very awkward.
I don't know, OJ. Between your so-called friend Bruce Fromong and your lawyer there, Attorney Levine. I don't know. It don't look good right now. I'm telling you.
Really?
It doesn't look good at all.
If it comes back in a positive way for him, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, OJ, he was having trouble getting his thoughts together, too. I think he was being cautious as to what he was saying,
Yes.
which is good. He didn't show any, anger or anything like that. That's good. That's in his favor. But he seemed to have been kind of scrambling, trying to get his thoughts together.
Right. He tried to stay up during his testimony. His oldest daughter, Arnell, was the
She
first
was very nervous, too.
speaker.
Yeah.
She was, too, yes. You could tell.
These things are not easy. When you sitting before a panel of people that have control over the outcome of your father or family member, it's you got to be careful in it. And I personally would have hired a PR company to help me craft my words so that it comes off smooth, and I would definitely rehearse it over and over again to make sure that it comes off correct, because, you could screw up and have a major impact on the outcome. If everything's not worded just perfectly. And I thought, she did okay, but I thought she could have done a lot better. And I think when you show some real passion and emotion in these kind of things and say, look,
right,
I miss my daddy immensely every day. We talk on the phone every now and then, but I can't wait to hold and hug my father and give him a kiss and show him that, we love you, Daddy. And we need my dad in our lives and our grandchildren or whatever. I expected to hear more of that. Because that pulls on the heartstrings of the people who have your, destiny at hand. So I think they could have played that up a little more. But that's just me. That's how I heard it. But, it's a tough, it ain't easy to do those kind of things. We'll see. And it sounded like it wasn't going to take a very long time for them to deliberate. Did you get that impression as well?
Yeah, they said on the ESPN coverage before it started, these things could take maybe like 15, 30 minutes and sometimes an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
before they begin to deliberate.
Right.
Well, an hour, somebody throw a chair, yeah.
See, there you go. Going dark again.
I can't help it.
That attorney Laverne, he's the one, I'm telling you, when I saw him, man, he started, going to detail or so-called detailing, once again, searching for words and not being itemized with the list, and he lost papers and he quoting dead people and everything else. I'm like, okay, dude, you can look. Just going.
What's really going on?
Give OJ the shovel, and say, just dig your own grave, sir.
Right.
Really, it didn't look good at all.
Yeah, it really didn't. So, I touched base on it while we're waiting for the outcome of this OJ parole hearing. What do you guys, the whole Exxon thing, we talked about it briefly, but how is it that this guy can sit here and be a part of the administration when he was the CEO of Exxon, doing business with the Russians, companies now being fined? How does that work? How do you walk into the Capitol with your head up on that one? How do you do that?
Privilege. That's all I can tell you. White privilege.
But it shouldn't be.
But it what?
He should walk into the president and resign right now. The president should have already called him and said, "Hey."
He's got a whole cabinet like that.
Exactly. But let's look at it from the president's perspective. With all the shit that's going on right now in your life, Mr. President, you should be accepting resignations from Tillerson, from your son, from your son-in-law, your former campaign manager. Is he in the cabinet? does he have a role now, an active role in the administration?
He's a senior advisor.
Senior advisor.
He doesn't have a cabinet position.
He should resign today, last week really. But all of these guys need to go, man. And if you're trying to save face at all, then you should be asking these guys to get to stepping. Mr. You're fired? Really? Come on, man. If you're going to save your own ass, you better start asking for some resignations, like right now. But if you don't, then that tells me that you're a co-signer to all the crazy that's going on. Just like you did, you didn't tell the public, you didn't tell the people that you had a second meeting with Putin. You said it was only 15 minutes. Just kind of, how you doing? Hey, high five, boom, boom, boom. No. It was an hour long, Mr. President. So how do you explain your way out of that? Why can't this guy just be honest? When are we going to see that? We're not.
No,
that's the problem.
No, because exactly, because everybody's in bed with the Russians. This whole thing with, Rex Tillerson and ExxonMobil company just got fined, $2 million for fine from the Treasury, violating sanctions, then contracts with Russia back in 2014, things like that. Now, once again, it all goes back to Russia because these Russian connections that Tillerson, that 45, that his son-in-law has, they're all connected.
All roads leads to Russia. Why is that?
Exactly. Right, because they had, they have been in business with them for a long time. We don't know how long the timeline is, but if it was to be exposed, we'll probably find out stuff that we never thought would have been. This whole country could be funded by Russia. We don't even know it. We have no idea.
I think
they're keeping mum and quiet because everybody's in bed with everybody else.
All right, the parole board is back in session.
In which 2 victims were robbed at gunpoint. It was a serious crime, and there was no excuse for it. You deserve to be sent to prison. You've been in prison now almost 9 years, the minimum amount imposed by the court. You have complied with the rules of the prison. You have programmed in an acceptable manner. You have no prior conviction of criminal activity. You are low risk to reoffend on our guidelines. You have community support and stable release plans. We've heard from you and from your victim. The question here, as with all parole hearings, is whether or not you have served enough time in prison on this case.
Here we go.
Considering all of these factors, my vote is to grant your parole effective when eligible.
Thank you.
And I concur with Commissioner Korda and grant parole. And in addition, our decision, although difficult, is fair and just.
I concur with Commissioner Korda and agree to grant parole.
Mr. Simpson, before I cast my vote, I want to let you know that we believe that we're a fair board. We believe that we're a consistent board. I will let you know that that consistency also goes to parole. And we do not look kindly upon parole violations. And if I cast my vote to grant and it concludes the hearing, our expectation would be that you not violate even the simplest condition of parole. Having said that, I am prepared to cast a vote. I am prepared to ask the commissioners to set conditions. If that happens, we will produce an order sometime in the next 15 to 20 minutes that will be faxed to you or presented to you at the institution, and it will become a public record. So based on all of that, Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole when eligible. And that will conclude this hearing.
Wow.
Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there's a surprise to me, because I wasn't expecting them to rule in his favor. So sometime in, what is it, September, October, that it will be official that he hit the 9-year point?
It'll be in October.
October. Wow. Well, let's hope that, everything between now and then continues in his favor, and they can get back to a normal life. Wow, I'm surprised. What are your thoughts, Chris, first?
I'm surprised. I thought that it wasn't going to look good. I hope, as we saw, that they bypassed what his attorney was saying, because the attorney, I think, was putting him into the ground. But they were able to bypass that.
Yeah.
They said they were a fair parole board. Mm-hmm. They don't look kindly on people who, do not go by the parameters and the rules and regulations, but they said they were fair. So if you're going by the fairness and the time he served for 9 years, then, hey, I'm surprised, but congratulations to him. I hope he does well.
Yep. I just hope that he can get back to some kind of normal life, whether he has to stay in Nevada or go to Florida. I hope it works out for him. But you know what? He's still going to have a troubled life, because there's always going to be a jackass out there that's going to try to get in his face and make him do something to violate his parole, and then he heads back to prison. So that's a challenge. That is a day-to-day challenge that he's going to have to deal with. So that being said, his life will never be normal, because there's always going to be that threat. There's always going to be somebody out there that say, yeah, you killed Nick Cole. Or get up in his face if he's, out at a restaurant or something. So it's not over. It'll never be normal. Never, ever. And so
that's true.
We'll see what happens moving forward. What do you think, Alfo? Are you surprised, or did you think it was going to come this way? Alfo? Nodding out again? All right.
Well, this is the time he says the Sandman comes along. So
yeah.
He just bust me in the back of the head with a brick. I didn't see him coming.
So what do you think? Are you surprised?
No.
No, you thought this was going to be the outcome, huh?
Basically, you take both scenarios and you put them into the wash, and whichever one comes out, that's the one. That's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
What they say in the movie? Wherever you go, there you are.
Well, and there'll be people who say, well, yeah, because he's got money and, that's how he got out. But I don't think that has anything to do with this particular situation. And he doesn't have nearly the amount of money that he once had, because, any kind of endorsement deals and all that kind of stuff, and able to get out and cut deals and make additional money.
Get away from those stairs.
Okay.
Hear that, Lee? Get away from those stairs.
Okay, Poppy. Okay.
Man.
I'm good. I'm nowhere near the stairs. Okay. What do your grandkids call you?
Great grandkids, they don't call me at all. They run. I can hear them. Here come that big brother.
Wow. They don't have a name for you other than Jackass?
No.
Here he comes.
Here he comes. Oh, let's run. Granddaddy?
They call me Granddaddy, and they call me Big Granddaddy.
Big Granddaddy.
They got another granddaddy who's thin.
Mm-hmm.
But
you the Big Granddaddy. That's like Big Mama?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. That's cool. That's groovy, man. That's groovy. Let's see here. Laura Rice says, Alfo's daddy daycare.
Yeah, daddy daycare. That's what
right.
it is.
That's it.
And I'm trying to do something about it.
Exactly.
We're trying to shut the daycare down.
So Laura Rice
close.
is cheering for OJ. I didn't think she would be. I think she would have been on the cynical side and not in favor of seeing him get out. So you surprised me on that one, Laura. How you doing, girl? I haven't heard from you in a while. You don't need me right now, so you don't call me 5 times a day, but that's cool. I'm gonna do a GoFundMe to get my bumper fixed. Can I rely on you for about 500?
Ooh, Laura, yeah, she's good for it.
She's good for 5. She could call me. I got 5 on it. $5.
Right.
Not 500. $5. OJ didn't kill Nicole and Ron. Oh, really? You think that, huh? That's what Laura Rice is saying. What's up?
Oh, she did. Okay. Hey.
500 pennies. You wrong, girl. You just wrong. You know what? I ain't even gonna talk to you no more. I'm gonna block you.
Well, that's good.
Put block on her.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. You're on hold. Laura Rice is officially on hold with Lee Michaels. You have been put on hold.
It's creeping up on that time. It's time to end this.
Is it really? Oh, damn. It's beyond time. I must be in. Let's see. Who's on after me today? Is it Axis or Laura Rice? It's Axis. So I'm not going to go over.
Okay.
I'm not going to go over. So thanks, guys, for being here.
Laura, just go over.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 or 4 or 5 minutes. You know, nobody listening to her anyway. Now, can I get more than 500 pennies? I'll be nice to you. All right, folks, thanks for joining us today. What is today, Thursday?
Thursday.
Damn, the week went by
that's
fast.
It for us this week, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. And we'll be back on Monday. So we're going to take tomorrow off from the live show. However, you can listen to a rebroadcast or go back to some of the videos from this week and see what you missed. But thank you so much for making it a show, and thank you to the cast of characters, Alpho, Apollo, Chris Bass, and my kick in the side, Carol, who's calling me now. Why is she calling me? You're supposed to be talking to your therapist.
Calling you? Don't call now.
And maybe she should take you to the therapist as well, other Carol.
No, I'm not going to pay for it, though. And don't have him touch me.
On that note, bye. Lord have mercy.